you, Chris. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here, and especially thanks to Holger for attending. Kelly sent you all the bio for our keynote speaker, and I'm sure you'll agree it's very impressive, but I am not going to read it to you. As most of you know, Holger and his wife Suzanne have been to our district as president's representatives during the 2017 district conference. When given a choice between a Florida district conference and ours, Holger wasted no time in choosing ours. He loves to ski, sail, and golf, all of which can be done in District 5440. We thoroughly enjoyed having them both in our district, and we're impressed by his passion for all things Rotary, especially membership and youth. So we were not at all surprised when he was selected as this year's Rotary International President. In Holger's President's Message in the October issue of the Rotary magazine, he says, "All Rotary clubs have the opportunity to be innovative. Let's trust the clubs, learn from them, and lend them our support. Change in Rotary happens at the grassroots level as clubs lead the charge, defining what this new Rotary can be." So please help me welcome Rotary International President Holger Knaack back to District 5440. Welcome, Holger.
Welcome, Holger.
Thank you very much for your kind introduction, Bob. And I have to apologize stepping in so late, but I was joining since this morning, since I think right now 8 hours, an institute and some gets and some major donor event. That was the last one right now, and meetings with Rotaractors and governors in the Netherlands. So apologize, but I think everybody is still there. Yes, there are still 126 people here. And by the way, Barb, you said you were not surprised that I'm being president. I was surprised being elected, because that changed our life totally. I can, of course, very good remember when we visited your district conference in Casper. And that was right before, I think 2 weeks before the International Assembly in Atlanta. So that was a great event. It was a huge event. I think I never spoke in front of nearly 10,000 empty seats in this stadium, in this ice hockey stadium where I spoke there. But it was a great and good district conference that times. Yes, and now being a Rotary or becoming a RI president, normally all my predecessors are about 20 to 25 days at home the whole year. I'm always at home right now and doing everyday Zoom meetings like this. Nobody knows when we will be able to travel again. I'm traveling a little bit in Germany to show up in some districts, yes, to show my face, and that works pretty well. But I think nobody knows when we are going to have our first international event, a larger event. I think we have to wait before there is a medicine or a vaccine. So, but at home there is one beauty. I'm able to meet many more Rotarians on the internet via Zoom, exactly what we are doing right now, than while traveling. There's one sad thing, I'm gaining weight because the food at home is much better than in planes. So that's one of my problems right now. And but I can solve this problem very easy. To be very honest, to be here in Northern Germany, we are anyway on the lucky side of life. The coronavirus didn't hit us very hard. We are very safe here in our small town where we live, northeast of Hamburg. And even if times of lockdown, our life didn't change very much. I think it's like in your district, especially in the smaller cities, that was not a big deal to survive this lockdown. By the way, I was in the United States in March still, flying from one multi-district pets to the other, to the next. And I remember being in San Francisco, and then flying to Chicago, and next day to Kalamazoo, Michigan. And there it was really critical at the beginning of March. And the next multi-district pets should be in New York. And you know, New York was very hard hit it in the beginning. And so, but I didn't go to New York, but left from Kalamazoo, Michigan to Evanston, Illinois by car. And then I was there when the office already was closed on the 12th of March. And then we stayed another week because we didn't get an earlier flight and flew home on the 18th of March. Nobody was working at that time in the office. And still, there are just a few people are working in our office in Evanston. There are just about 40 to 60, 30 of them are working because of bad conditions at home. And the others are, I think they are alternating so that everybody can come back to his or her office desk and getting some things. So since the 19th of March, I'm here at home. And again, as I said, being in Zoom meetings nearly all day, no, not nearly all day, and having fun with Rotarians. When I spoke about the assembly, so that was my assembly where I, first time I go or went public with my theme. When I spoke always about Rotary opens opportunities, I spoke about change and I spoke about the necessary of change and being revolutionary. No one had the idea how fast we went for change and how fast clubs changed from meeting in persons to virtual meetings. And so I'm still can't believe that how fast Rotary is able to change. Right now, everybody has to change because many clubs are still meeting virtual. My own club right now is doing some virtual meetings, doing some in-person meetings, and these meetings are hybrid meetings. And we are learning a lot about hybrid meetings right now. And that's what I'm asking Rotary clubs right now. All of us would love to come back to normal, or what we call today to the so-called new normal. But I'm asking all of you, please don't go back to what you found before. Please keep all the good things we are learning with virtual meetings and all these things we are doing electronical right now. The board of directors, for example, is so much more efficient and faster, more nimble what we are doing right now. We are meeting not just 4 times a year, we are meeting every second month and more often if it's necessary. And it's amazing how this works with Zoom. Zoom is able today to offer also simultaneous interpretation in 7 languages. And we need these languages on the board of directors when we have our meetings. And these meetings are doing, so we call them the golden hours. That means in my time between, it is 10, or for your time is 10 to 12. So that's, no, you are one way back. I think it's 7, no, it's 7 to 9. So that's not too early. It's earlier for the people at the Pacific coast, but it's very late already for those in Korea. So we are meeting virtual, we are voting virtual with another app, and that works wonderful. We are really efficient. We are fast. We are nimble in our board of directors. And that's what I'm asking all Rotary clubs. Keep all the good things. But also, if we come back, I love to shake hands. I love to hug people. And I love to have a drink together with people and talking and laughing and joking. But I'm pretty sure these times will come back, hopefully soon. Yes, that's what I'm asking you. Stay with what we learned. And I'm asking all Rotary clubs, this is a good time to put everything on test, what we are doing right now. This is a good time to question everything we do in the Rotary Club. Do we have the right location to meet? Is it the good meeting time? Is our meals too expensive? Because in some regions, in some parts of the world, Rotary becomes more expensive. And there's no need for that. Do we have the right procedure to look for new members? Are we, nimble enough, whatever happens in our districts? Can we improve our ability to serve? Can we look for better and more efficient projects all these things can be questioned. And now is a good time to do that. You know, I'm always asking all Rotary clubs to do at least one strategic meeting a year. And in this meeting, I'm asking Rotary clubs to look for their own future, to think about what is in 5 years, what happens, what is our action, what are our plans, what is our strategic plan in each Rotary club. And this is a good time to do that. Clubs are independent, and I love this. But with this, clubs has to look for their own future because it's their responsibility. One of our problems, and that's the same in the United States, the same in Europe, same as Australia, Korea, Japan, Scandinavia, in all these places, our Rotary clubs becoming older and older and older. What is a good thing? Because we have our old friends so long with us. And I love to have my friends with me when I'm visiting our Rotary club. Our oldest member passed 2 years ago with the age of 102. And still with 100, he was joining our meeting. So I love this. But when our club's becoming older and older and older, we are running in danger, or it happens already, that we are not really interesting and attractive for young leaders. And if we are not longer attractive for young leaders and for young professionals, Rotaractors, Rotary will lose relevance. That's my concerns. And that's why I'm really asking clubs, please, please, please look for young professionals, welcome them, try to do everything to welcome them and to be interesting for them. If it's difficult, probably a satellite club could be a solution. And if it doesn't work, I think the only solution then is to create a new Rotary club, a Rotary club what fits to the needs of young professionals, to the needs of Rotaractors. And they know better than I know that how to do it, because they exactly know what their needs are and what kind of Rotary they want in the future. Oh, yes, and that's one of our major challenges, to be attractive for the next generation as a Rotary club. One other point I'm asking Rotary clubs, please select your members carefully. Look for members who are a good fit for your Rotary club, because I think with Rotary, you are really making friends for life. And to look for friends for life, yes, you are really looking for good people, but are a good fit to you and to your Rotary club. And what is as important is that the Rotary club is also meeting the expectation of the new member. This has to be a good fit. And with this, we really can make sure that the new member will stay in our club. That's really important for me. And I think it's important for everybody, because people who are leaving the Rotary club, they are talking, and that really affects our image. Rotary opens opportunities. When I choose this theme, again, I doesn't know what happens, because right now really Rotary opens opportunities, but I choose the theme because it fits in several directions. It fits to the people we serve, and it fits to us. It fits to the people we serve because we are opening indeed opportunities for others when we are providing eyeglasses, when we are providing a wheelchair, clean water, basic education. We are opening opportunities for others. But we are also opening opportunities for us, for ourselves as Rotarians. And that's to live a richer, more meaningful life among friends. It's the opportunity for service, not just donating money to a charity. No, we are doing the service by ourselves and also see the results firsthand. And the opportunity for personal growth. And this is really important for younger people. Being a Rotary, it's broaden your perspective. you raise your level of tolerance. It's you are increasing your abilities in public speaking. Another language. So years ago, I wasn't able to speak just free speaking what I'm doing right now without reading. So it was impossible. But with Rotary, I'm learning and learning and learning. And you become a project manager when you are planning your service projects. You're able to be an event manager. So when you are planning an event like this or in a district conference. So there are so many things Rotary opens opportunities for us. And these are all things we can tell people when we ask them, hey, would you like to join our Rotary Club? There are so many benefits, not to talk about our international network. We have so many benefits to do. Our youth exchange program, that's unique. There are so many great things we can offer our members. And I think we can marketing that when we are looking for new members. There's so much more than the opportunity for service. But when I'm always talking about young people, and you know the reason, because we have to look for younger people, that doesn't mean I'm leaving others behind. One of my sayings is, there is no wrong age to become a Rotarian. Every age has something to contribute. I think that is so important. But again, looking for younger members, that's why. I'll give you an example. In my country, the average age in Rotary clubs is 64. Oh, that's pretty old if you want to be attractive. In the UK, United Kingdom, the average age in the Rotary Club is already 75. Think about that. The average age in a Rotary Club is 75. This is something what I'm really, really anxious about. So I'm not talking about our core values, and I can talk hours about that, our 4-way test. Just at the end, I'm traveling a lot with Rotary, and I'm seeing so much different Rotaries. I can tell you, Rotary is different everywhere. Wherever you go, Rotary is totally different. And even in your district, there's no Rotary club like the others. There's so many differences. And this is one of our strengths. So this diversity. And diversity, we are looking for more diversity right now. This is something what is very important for me. All these initiatives starts in your country because of social injustice, what you call Black Lives Matters, is not everywhere, but racism, it's nearly everywhere. But discrimination you can find in every country. It all depends on history, on culture, and there's a lot to do for Rotary clubs for us. But the problem has to be solved country by country, culture by culture, region by region. It's not just about having a diversity of young and old. What I love, it's for me one of the ideals of the gender diversity in Rotary clubs. There are so many other issues looking for people we probably don't look if we are looking for members. Right now, I think I'm talking enough. One of my last phrases is always, Rotary is not just a club that you join. Rotary is an invitation to endless opportunities. Whatever we do in Rotary, we are opening an opportunity for someone somewhere. And now I think I talked enough indeed. I thank you for listening to me. And for me, the most important thing is, please stay healthy, whatever you do. Thank you very much.
Does anyone have any questions that they would like to share with President Holger? Raise your hand or put it in the chat. Krishna does. Krishna, put your camera on.
Oh, okay, sorry. The host has stopped the camera, so.
Okay.
Okay, I can still ask the question. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Holger Knaack, for a heart-to-heart conversation. Can you just tell us briefly about the end polio that's happening because of the COVID. And I know there is a lot of good efforts still going on. Can you just tell us briefly about that? Thank you.
Yes, thank you. My last international travel was indeed to Pakistan, and beginning of February this year, where we wanted to encourage the government to do more. And I had a meeting with Prime Minister Imran Khan and also with the Chief of Army Staff. They do a lot there. Of course, we had to stop during the lockdown the vaccination of children because we can't go from house to house in times of lockdown, but they started again. We see, unfortunately, the same numbers than last year, about 147 we had last year in Pakistan. But we have to go on with vaccinating. But the good news was that we could declare Africa this year polio-free. I think that's one of the great successes in our fight against polio. Unfortunately, this event also was just virtually. But now we can more concentrate on Pakistan and Afghanistan. And it's a little bit a question of these of war in these areas, you know that. They would like to go into other areas. And if they also spoke, if the chief of the head of the country are telling you there are lawless areas in our country, that's something what is, it's not so easy. But I can tell you, they had their last national immunization days last December, and they vaccinated 40 million children in Pakistan, 40 million, with the help of 200,000 polio workers and more than 100,000 soldiers taking care of their lives. And this is amazing. So if you are asking where our money is going, so it's going definitely in this region now to make sure that we are able to vaccinate all children there. So that's a short report. It's not as good this year, but the only thing we can do, hoping for next year.
Thank you.
Past District Governor Stu Palmer has a question.
Holger, best to you and Suzanne. I just wanted to ask if the Rotary Foundation has seen an increase or a decrease in donations during this pandemic.
Thank you for that question, Stu. And really, I remember still when I visiting your home in Jackson Hole just 4 years ago. Yes, that's one of our concerns, no doubt. We have data 100 years back, and we saw just one time a significant drop in membership. That was during the Great Depression in your country and after that in the whole world. But we saw always, whenever there was a crisis, we saw a drop in contributions to our Rotary Foundation. That will be a problem. I expect that we are running very, very early out of money next year with the annual program fund. And one of the problems is that our contributions, they increases for about 5% over the last 10% over the last 5 years. But our global grants are increasing for 80%. And that's why we are running probably at the end of this year already out of money. That's indeed a problem. So we are simply looking for more money to doing more good in the world. Thank you, Stu.
Thank you very much.
Albin?
Yes, Melissa Turley has a question. She asked, how can our clubs encourage younger members and older members to mutually respect one another's perspectives and contributions?
That's indeed, for me, having old and young together, it's definitely a question of mutual respect. I think with this, we can achieve a lot. So I would love, I can tell you the ideal, I would love to see older Rotarians, experienced Rotarians in their business, in their own businesses, or as a manager, being a mentor of younger people. And I would love to see Rotaractors and young professionals teaching the older one how to be better prepared using the computer, how to do better and more virtual meetings, hybrid meetings, and all these things. I think so. This would be a benefit for both sides, for the youngest and for the oldest. That is my ideal. I hope we can achieve that. I know it's not easy, but I think it starts with an open invitation and yes, and simply being more inclusive, being more welcoming younger members. I think this could be one of the solutions. Thank you.
Thank you. And then Julie Hafner has a question and says, with access to the world and access to your schedule, thanks for coming to our virtual meetings and being at virtual meetings. What does your average day look like?
My average, what again, please?
What does your average day look like? What's a day in the life of Holger look like?
Right now, yes, that's reading, of course, reading emails. So that's, by the way, that's one of my challenges. So first time ever, I wrote a letter to all, or an email to all Rotarians. We didn't have that before. As a result, I think I got 4,000 responses. I'm not able to answer them, but there are staff members who are answering me. All of you know that sometimes you are losing emails. So whenever someone wrote to me and he or she didn't get an answer, I have to apologize. We try our best, but that's challenge number one. There's a lot of reading for me. And so I'm very pleased to have my aide, past RI Director Andy Smallwood from Houston, Texas. And so he's really helping me a lot. And by the way, he has really problems in walking. And so when I choose Andy, everybody asks me, why are you choosing someone who can't follow you if you're unconventional? But no, I'm happy with Andy. And now we are all at home, and I'm so happy having Andy. Sometimes I'm just sending an email to Andy, especially long emails when it takes so long for me to read English. And then I send it to Andy, say, Andy, please let me know. If it's important, let me know it. If it's not important, please find a very kind answer. This is really helping me to go off to these emails. Otherwise, I'm with sometimes more, sometimes less meetings like this year. Right now, it's difficult to find the time for golf because it takes at least 4 or 5 hours to go on the golf course, and that doesn't work right now, but that's okay. I'm meeting so many people here, and when I go, I love to go through all these different pages and see so many people, Rotarians I met before, also here in your district, and that's a great thing. And by the way, we have so many, as I told you, so many board meetings. And I agreed with Ravi Ravindran, who is right now chair of the Rotary Foundation, that we are inviting each other to our board meetings. But they have every month board meetings. So that means 3 days trustee board meeting every month, every second month, a couple of days board meetings, executive committee meetings between that, brainstorming meetings between that, meetings like this, what is real fun for me. I love this. So being on Zoom meetings, writing speeches, try to walk a little bit to catch some fresh air. So that's a normal day of life. But at least what we are always doing, working for Rotary, that doesn't make any difference. So thank you for that question.
Absolutely. And Jim Epstein has a question, and he'll ask it himself.
Yeah, hi, Holger. I was just wondering if what Rotary is doing with regard to the pandemic. I know that some of the polio resources have also been used there, but I'm sure Rotary is doing a lot of things for the pandemic, and I was wondering if you could share some of those.
So, Jim, first of all, we didn't use polio resources because we needed all our resources for polio to meet this challenge from Bill Gates. So that's number one. But we use indeed some money from our annual program fund. That's another reason, even if we are not running out of money there. And the board of directors. So we saved a lot of money while we are not traveling. That's amazing how much money we are saving. And we put the savings at the end of the last Rotary year to the COVID response fund. So we put about, I think nearly 2 million into this fund to make sure that all applications could be fulfilled. So that's what the board of directors did. And this COVID response fund works pretty well. So every district could apply for $25,000. And this was fast. That was nobody expected from the Rotary Foundation, how fast they could be. And it works pretty well. And I think this was a good example how nimble the Rotary Foundation and Rotary can be with this response to COVID. But one other thing, Jim, I think being involved in vaccine creating and all these things, that's not possible. So our foundation is simply too poor, while large companies and governments putting billions and billions of dollars into this business. But if there is a vaccine, so we are again in first front, because all over Africa, all over South Asia, all over Southeast Asia, there is a structure and the logistics to vaccinate people immediately. And that's why Rotarians started 40 years ago, by the way, in Manila, Philippines, this National Immunization Day. And that's all because we have the structure, we have the logistic to vaccinate immediately if there is a vaccine. Thank you for that question.
Thank you.
Thanks, Holger. We've had a couple questions about membership. How's membership doing as far as numbers goes, and has it been lowered by the pandemic?
Yes, that's one of my concerns. That's definitely one of my concerns. Last year, we lost 14,000 members. That sounds not very many, 14,000 from 1.2 million. But it was the 5th year in a row that we are losing some members. And we're expecting the same, at least more this year. I tried to fight that. And I said, hey, let's really look for that. You know, if we can solve our retention problem, we don't need any more members. You know, we are gaining 150,000 members a year, but unfortunately, we are losing a little bit more than 150,000 members a year. If we would be able to simply keep our members, we don't need any new members next year, for example. So I think let's focus on both. Let's fight on both sides, looking for members, and I really think for members who will remain in our clubs. And then let's look to engage our existing members, keep them engaged, make them good friends. I think with these two activities, we can achieve something.
Wonderful. And I know you kind of touched on this, but specifically, as a COVID-19 vaccine is available, is Rotary considering using its network to help administer the COVID-19 vaccine?
Yes, I think definitely, because we are using all our, as I said, these logistics everywhere in the world. And in countries where we are not involved in vaccinating people, like your country, like my country, I think it's up to the local Rotary club. So there, I think we don't plan any global initiative here, because that's different in different countries who is responsible for vaccination. I'm totally sure that we are involved in Africa, all over Africa and in Asia. But you know, there are different systems in different countries. So I think it's up to probably zones and districts to help in this area here.
Thank you. Lou Steinberg has a question you'd like to ask.
Unmute myself. I've been in Rotary for 30 years, and my passion has always been with the youth. I was District 5130's RILA chair for 12 years. I was an Interact advisor. I've always felt that the future of Rotary is our youth programs, and that our future Rotarians will come from those programs. And I've seen that happen over those years, where former Interact students, RILA students, have then gone on to college and now joined Rotary. How much of a push are we doing this internationally? And I think this is a good way to help the future of Rotary. Thank you.
Thank you, Louis. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking very many times about. Right now we have more alumni than Rotarians, many more alumni, nearly about 1.5 million people. We touched their life through RILA events, through youth exchange, through many other things. And so we have to do everything to get them on board. And there are some districts, by the way, who are creating new Rotary clubs just for alumni. That's possible today with virtual things. So alumni, they found together and doing this. And here's something to do for districts, I think. Whenever we're talking about costs, and I'm very often I'm asked to reduce our Rotary International dues. And then I'm saying, you know what? Most of our dues is we need for our staff members. And in times like this, Rotary doesn't fire our staff members, not just because we need them, but they are working so long with us. So, and with this, we can't reduce our cost, but it's just a small portion of money you need as a Rotarian, what is going to Rotary International. There are options in Rotary clubs to reduce dues. There are options in districts because you don't need any money right now for your large events. There's no money needed for traveling. And a good example for me is my neighboring district, 1890, Hamburg, who was also responsible for the convention this last year. And so they didn't ask for dues. There was enough money in the pot. We don't need any money this year. So they didn't ask for any dues, district dues this year. So there are many ways. And that there's a new Rotary Club, probably from alumni, from former youth exchange students, RILA participants, NGSE participants, scholars. There are so many different groups. So let's let them know it could be an inexpensive experience with all the benefits I told about, I spoke about just a couple of minutes ago, what we can do. So there are many new opportunities for new clubs, for different clubs, inexpensive opportunities, especially for young people, because they are looking much more than we look for costs. And so that's an opportunity. And also clubs who have enough money, think about that. If you need for a young professional or a student just 25 or 30 years old looking for a job, think about if you can sponsor him or her in the first years, or also helping him or her to get a job to be more involved. So there are really opportunities to engage our alumni. Thank you for that question, Louis. But this is something we can really do much better than before.
Thank you so much. Bill Solms has a question.
Hi, Holger. First of all, what's the correct pronunciation of your last name?
Knaack. We are pronouncing the K.
Okay. Thank you.
Don't ask me for the pronunciation of my Rotary Club. That's impossible. Forget it. Yeah.
My ancestors are from Braunfels, Germany, north of Frankfurt, and so this whole world is smaller than we think. My question is, we're looking for younger members, Rotary internationally. What do you find internationally that inspires a high school student to want to join a Rotary-related club in their high school? And then at the college level, what do you find is most inspiring to the college level student? We give scholarships for college, and I'm thinking, maybe we ought to make it a condition for receiving the scholarship for them to join or start a college Rotary program. But I'd be interested in your experience in that area since you're a great builder. You open doors.
Bill, when I think about college, I'm thinking primarily about Rotaract. But I don't see any big differences between Rotaract and Rotary. Rotaract might probably fits best. But I think young people are definitely looking for an opportunity for service. That's no doubt. And we can also offer not just local service, but also international service. We have so many great programs. when I spoke about personal growth, this is something to marketing, and I would mention our partnership with Toastmasters. So Toastmasters and Rotary, that works really good. And so they are providing lessons in public speaking. That's something we also can marketing. Say, hey, join our new Rotary Club, and we can provide a lot of benefits for you. That's what I'm talked in the beginning, and that's much more than just service. Service is of course important, and with our new area of focus starting next year, and it's late enough to be honest, taking care of the environment. I think there is another option for especially younger people to be involved. I think there are some opportunities for marketing our idea.
Thank you, Holger.
I do believe that covers all of our questions that have been asked so far.
Good. It's as I said, it's fun, and I love questions. Answering questions. That's giving me an impression what's going on in district and clubs, hearing what they are interested in, and that's much better than just speaking. And I love much more this interaction than giving one speech after another. That's not just boring for you. It becomes also boring for me. But so this interaction is it's really interesting and more. Yeah, I think it's also more efficient for everybody. Yeah.
Thank you, Alvin. Thank you, everyone, for your questions. President Holger, thank you again for being with us this morning. I know what an incredible schedule you have. Even though you're not traveling, it does allow you to get out and visit with more people, which is a wonderful thing. But we are so pleased and so excited that you've been able to come back to District 5440. Again, we enjoyed you when we got to meet you in Casper. I enjoyed seeing you visit with the Rotary Club of Cheyenne earlier this year when you were their program, which was just wonderful. And it was wonderful to see you at High Country Pets in Denver last year before the world flipped. So it's just delightful. We want you to be sure to send our best wishes and greetings to Suzanne, and that we hope that you all stay safe and stay well in Northern Germany, and that you should know that we are strong and resilient in District 5440. We are having wonderful times together. Our clubs are doing good things, and we are getting new members in Rotary in this district. So I'm pleased to give you that update. But thank you again for taking your Saturday morning with us. It is just an absolute thrill to have you in our district.
Thank you. I thank you inviting me. I thank Barbara. Barbara is really involved in so many things right now. I'm seeing D3E Shuri Shield. Hi. So have a great year. And so I feel a little bit sad for you because I don't think that that Orlando will happen, the assembly. I think we will definitely have the decision where we'll take in 2 weeks, but I'm pretty much sure we are not able to invite everybody to Orlando. That's a pity. I really hope that Taipei will happen. I don't know that, and nobody knows that, but it's how it is. So Rotarians do whatever they can, do the best serving people, but whatever happens, and what also is really important in Rotary, let's also have fun with Rotary in events like this year. Thank you. Stay healthy.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.